The Little Mermaid and Disappearing Fish. Once upon a time, Arya, the most beautiful mermaid in the world of the oceans, and her dear prince Edward got on a cruise ship and sailed to faraway seas. The journey was so lovely that the beauty of the morning sun fascinated everyone. My prince, I could just sail with you in this beautiful ocean for the rest of my life. Edward and Arya picked tropical fruits from every island they visited. Pineapple, mango, coconut, papaya, pitaya, raspberry, banana, lemons, and more. Dozens of the most delicious fruits in the 7 seas. They were going to present these fruits to the people in their homeland when they returned to the castle. One day, when the prince and the little mermaid Arya were looking at the ocean, they noticed that in the water there were no ocean creatures.
My princess, we haven't seen any fish in the ocean for days. I wonder why.
Yes, I noticed. My friend Dolphy has not been around for a few days. Worried about the undersea world, the little mermaid decided she should go investigate the underwater kingdom and check in on her family and friends. Prince Leo walked her to the bow of the ship. Arya became worried. My prince, if I don't come back by sunset, there is definitely something dangerous going on underwater. Little Mermaid Arya walked to the end of the ship and leapt into the sea. As soon as she dove into the water, her human legs magically turned back into a mermaid tail. Arya swam swiftly through the water towards the deep sea kingdom, but she could not see any fish friends around. The sea felt too still. As she came near, she called out her best fish friends. Dolphy! Willie! My crab friends, where are you? But no one responded. Arya could not hear anything other than the sound of the sand and the water, the magnificent deep sea kingdom, and the whole shimmering blue sea looked calm and empty. The little mermaid Arya swam towards a seashell in the sand. Seashells magically recorded every sound and every wave in the underwater world, just like a diary. Arya put the seashell to her ear and started to listen to the things that had happened.
It was a bright and fun day in our underwater home. Colorful fish, dolphins, jellyfish were active and cheerful. As the sunlight filtered through the water onto the sea floor, the evil witch Vega and her assistant Snake came. I heard them making plans to steal the kingdom's treasure so that Vega could establish her own kingdom, away from King Poseidon and his family. Then Vega and Snake met with the shark gang and they disappeared. I started moving forward in the sand to convey what I heard to the king, but I was stunned at what I saw. A huge fishing net slowly descending into the water. I was afraid, so I hid myself right away.
Arya could not believe the things she heard. She left the seashell where it was and immediately went to look for the fishing net. After swimming a little, she came across a huge fishing net full of sea animals, and her best friend, Dolphy, was in it. Oh, Dolphy, I finally found you. Arya, hurry up! Save us now! There are 2 other big fishing nets like this one. While the mermaid was thinking of a plan to save them, Prince Edward was on his ship, waiting for her to reply. She had been gone a long time, so Prince Edward was worried. He pulled out the magic sea dust and swallowed it, and then jumped into the water. As soon as he was in the water, the prince's human legs turned into a tail. Then he started to swim with all his might to look for Arya. Meanwhile, the Little Mermaid was struggling to bring all 3 large fishing nets together. And she noticed that Vega and Snake were in one of these fishing nets.
Vega? Snake? How did you get caught in these nets? I don't believe it.
What are you doing underwater? I thought you left to be a human.
It doesn't matter. I won't leave my fish friends. I came to save you.
To save us? You?
She said she'd save us.
She said so. Did not you hear it, Snake?
All your arms are stuck in the nets, Vega. You'll never get out of there without help.
That's what you think. The evil sea witch was proud and tried to get free without any help. But she was not successful. Snake, help me! Pull my 4th arm, quickly!
Your Majesties.
Use both of your heads, you idiot!
We can't make it, Your Majesty.
Vega, stop! You're making it even worse.
While the mermaid tried to warn Vega, the fishermen threw another net from above. And unfortunately, the mermaid also became stuck in this net.
I got caught. No! Ow! I should have been watching for more nets.
Don't move, Arya. You're going to be stuck more. I will get out of here before you and destroy the entire kingdom. While Mermaid Arya was struggling in the net, Prince Edward arrived.
Edward! Edward! We're here!
The prince, with all his strength and his handy dagger, saved Arya from her net right away.
We've got to stop the pirate fishermen, Princess. Let's hurry, or they'll throw more nets.
Wait here. We will save you.
The mermaid followed the net's rope and swam up so quickly that Prince Edward had a hard time catching up to her. They knew they needed to stop the pirate fishermen quickly before they could drop more nets. Arya came to the surface of the water and shouted at the fishermen.
Hey! Pirate fishermen! You cannot throw nets in the oceans. There are thousands of sea creatures living below. You mustn't harm them.
The pirate fishermen ignored Arya and tried to throw another net into the ocean. Arya, on the other hand, put her hands together and leapt into the air.
It's a mermaid!
The pirates who saw this were scared and amazed when they saw the mermaid.
Hey, look! She's floating! She's like flying!
Arya's magical power over the ocean created huge waves and strong winds and sent the ship of the pirate fishermen far away from their nets and the underwater kingdom. Prince Edward worked fast to cut off the nets, and the underwater creatures were freed. Of course, there were a few wicked creatures that fled right away and didn't even give the prince and Arya a thank you. Even though she had been saved, Vega was furious that the mermaid Arya had been the one to save her.
Your Majesties, the Little Mermaid really saved us, right?
We may have been saved thanks to her, Snake, but this will never change my mission. I will destroy that kingdom, and all treasure will be mine! The fish friends of the Little Mermaid thanked her and the prince for being saved.
We will always be the protectors of the underwater world. Don't worry.
and the sea creatures promised to protect Arya and Edward's ship forever. And once again, the ocean's creatures swam freely in the deep blue water, thanks to the good hearts and courage of Arya and the prince. Peace ruled in the underwater kingdom and spread around the earth. And they lived happily ever after. The Secret of the Little Mermaid. Once upon a time, in the most beautiful castle by the sea, was Princess Arya and Prince Edward. In the evening, they walked along on the pier of the castle and watched the sunset. And in the morning, they swam in the sea to enjoy the sun. None of the other humans in the kingdom knew that Princess Arya was actually a mermaid. Except the prince, of course.
My princess, eventually everyone will figure out that you're a mermaid. Why do you wish to keep it a secret?
Not all people are as kind as you, my prince. If they realize that I'm a mermaid... Whenever Mermaid Arya thought about telling her secret, she would remember her father's words.
Daughter, you must realize that human beings are harmful.
One day, Arya and her friend, the maid of the castle, were walking along the coast.
Daggy, come on, run and bring it, my boy. Daggy loves you so much, my princess. He is a very loyal, very kind dog, Lily. My princess, I want to ask you something if you allow me.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you may ask. The servants in the castle, my friends, the people, everyone thinks you're a mermaid. Is that true?
The mermaid was shocked by the things she heard. She immediately remembered the free and beautiful memories that she had in the oceans.
No, it's not true. I'm a human just like you. I just love swimming and watching the sea creatures. Sorry, my princess. Everyone was asking, so I was wondering too. No problem, Lily. If you'll excuse me, I must go back to the castle and continue my work. Come on, boy, come on!
After Lily left, the little mermaid Arya went to the pier with her dog, Daggy.
I feel very bad because I can't tell the truth, even to my friend, Daggy.
Daggy barked several times, pointing at the ocean. Daggy, are you trying to say that maybe it would be good to see my underwater friends, right? While Lily was working in the castle hall, she came out on the castle's balcony for some fresh air. And she saw Arya down at the pier. Just as Arya stood to jump into the sea, Lily saw Arya's human legs turn into a mermaid tail. She was astounded. Lily ran excitedly and left the castle. She couldn't believe what she'd seen. She started to tell her closest friends what she saw. Meanwhile, Mermaid Arya went to the deep sea kingdom and visited her father Poseidon, her sisters, and her best friend the tiny dolphin, Dolphy, who always listened to Arya's questions.
Dolphy, I'm afraid to tell people that I'm a mermaid. Why are you afraid, Arya? Because humans may not be as understanding as my kind Edward. Yes, but you've always been good to people, Arya. So they won't want to hurt you. You're a mermaid and so lucky. Don't you think they'll understand? You're right, Dolphy. Of course they will be.
As Arya was talking to her tiny friend Dolphy, Lily's friends, back on land, did not believe Lily and thought she was lying.
I'm not lying. I'll prove to you that Princess Arya is a mermaid.
When it was evening on the coast, Lily secretly went to the pier with a glass box and waited for the mermaid Arya to return. Lily was hurt that her friends had laughed at her and that the Princess Arya had denied being a mermaid. After a while, she noticed a ripple on the water and dragged the glass box to the end of the pier and dropped it into the water. The little mermaid Arya was underwater, unaware of Lily's glass box, which was coming down from the pier, almost invisibly in the water. She was about to get out of the water and turn into a human, but she crashed into the glass box in the water. Before she realized what was happening, the lid of the box closed on her.
Help! What's happening? Help me!
When Lily felt the tug on her rope, she pulled the glass box from the sea and left it on the pier. Arya became hopeful for a moment when she saw Lily.
Lily! Lily! Save me! Sorry, Arya. You are a mermaid, and you lied to me. Now I have to prove to my friends that I'm not a liar.
Lily dragged the glass box to an abandoned spot on the coast. Arya tried and tried to get out of the box, but it was locked tightly and she could not escape. She couldn't call her friends on the land, nor in the sea. Morning finally came, and Lily woke up early to wait for her friends to come. She quickly covered the glass box with a cloth, and Little Mermaid Arya was not able to do anything. She couldn't see outside the tarp, and she was so very afraid. Lily's friends finally arrived at the beach.
Here is the proof that I'm not a liar. Look at our Princess Arya. All this time she hid from us that she was a mermaid.
Lily's friends were wide-eyed and so shocked that they couldn't even blink. They examined Arya closely to see if it was the princess. They were amazed. But as it happened, the wicked sea witch Vega was watching from the ocean and decided that she could use this situation to her advantage. It looks like Arya needs help. Yes, it looks like this is a perfect opportunity. Vega took her octopus arms out of the water and stretched them towards the beach. She grasped the glass box which Arya was in. Lily and her friends couldn't believe what they saw, and of course they were so scared. Arya pounded on the glass, but could not escape. Vega dragged the little mermaid Arya into the ocean, and the maids stood and did nothing.
No! Oh no! An octopus woman has kidnapped the princess of our country!
Vega opened the lid of the glass box she had kidnapped and released the mermaid Arya.
Vega, you saved me! Thank you so much for your kindness.
Yes, little mermaid, I saved you, and in return, you will give me the key to the treasure of the deep sea kingdom.
What? No!
Yes.
Listen, I'm grateful that you rescued me, but I cannot surrender the key to the treasure of the deep sea kingdom. Friends should be kind without requiring a reward.
Angry at these words, Vega wanted to imprison the mermaid back in the glass box. Then she started throwing ink balls from her octopus arms. However, the little mermaid used her magical sea powers to block the ink balls and stick Vega's dangerous arms into the sand under the water. I will find you, Arya.
You owe me a favor.
Favors are done without expecting anything in return, Vega. If you want to be a good person, you need to learn to be a kind friend. When Arya returned to land, she remembered how awful Lily had treated her, and Arya was deeply sad. She immediately went to Prince Edward to tell him everything that had happened. Then they summoned Lily. Lily, I'm sorry for not telling the truth. Yes, I'm a mermaid. My home is both the land and the sea, and I love ocean creatures and land people too. I was cruel to you, my princess. I'm so sorry. The next day, Arya finally revealed to everyone that she was a mermaid. All the people living in the country and even the animals were very, very happy with this news. Because now they had a beautiful princess who could protect them both on land and at sea.